This is where the shitstorm first started. Being one of Nintendo's biggest hits and probably the one franchise that makes people just jizz their pants over and over again or makes them lose consciousness for a while. Super Smash Bros. Is definitely the game that brings Nintendo fans together and make them beat the shit out of each other.
But who can blame them? We all go batshit crazy over this franchise. It includes all of our favorite Nintendo characters in one game. Super Smash Bros. Is huge, and with the Switch version around the corner, I decided to look into the game that started it all. This one. So hold on to your fat bellies and join me as I go back in time to take a look at this game.
Story time! The original name for Super Smash Bros. Was actually Dragon King the Fighting Game, and the characters were just a bunch of mannequin-looking bastards. But then this guy was like, hey, can I use Nintendo characters for this? No, please, no, please, no, please, no. Pretty please? Okay, sure. And thus, Super Smash Bros. Was born. Did you get all of that? Okay, good. This game was freaking crazy back then. I remember when I was a little kid and I was at the game store with my dad and he told me that I could pick one game that he would buy for me. At first I was eyeing Mario Party, but then I saw this weird ass looking game and I was like, it's got Mario on it. So while standing there for hours just pondering which game I should pick, my dad with furious footsteps walked up to me and said, just pick a game already, please hurry up, I need to go home and take a shit. So I picked Super Smash Bros., having absolutely no idea what kind of game it was. I didn't have a mag, I popped that sucker in and I noticed all these strange characters, most of which I've never seen before. Let me remind you, I was 7 years old. I knew who Mario was, of course, and I knew who Donkey Kong and Link were, but no idea who this bitch was. And I was one of the guys who thought Samus was a guy at first. Until I saw this.
Hubba hubba?
Yoshi I knew, Kirby? No idea. Fox? Not really, and what the fuck is this thing? Okay, this may seem a little odd to you Americans, but Pokemon got released in Europe 1 month before Smash Bros. Did. And we had absolutely no idea what it was before the anime started airing. So, who the fuck is Pikachu? And I could have sworn that Jigglypuff was from the Kirby games, because they share the same shape. They're balls. Also, no idea who Captain Falcon was, and then there's this kid whom my friends and I used to call the boy with the baseball bat. Earthbound did not come out in Europe.
I was very oblivious.
After playing for a good 10 minutes, I started to realize something. That this game is indeed a fighting game. I think. I mean, it's like a fighting game, but instead of the regular sense, you could jump around, do backflips, and cause chaos with your mad mind-tricking skills. So, is it a fighting game or a party game? I say it's both. Something I like about Smash Bros. Is that you need to be good at this game in order to win against your friends. You can't just button mash your way to victory like in regular fighting games. No, if you were to do that in Smash, you would get destroyed.
And don't try to tell me that you can't win in fighting games by just button mashing, because screw you, we've all lost to button mashers at least once or twice. I forgot to film this before.
I remember trying out the classic mode for the very first time. I picked Mario at first because he was the one I was the most familiar with. I start fighting a bunch of characters and I'm like, holy shit, this is the greatest game ever made. After trying a bunch of characters, I'm sitting there in my room only wearing what I believe was my underwear, and my sister and her friend barges in, wanting to see what the hell I was playing. And then her friend points at the character selection screen and says, pick Kirby, he can fly. So I pick Kirby and I'm like, holy shit, he can fly. The classic mode is just like any other arcade mode of any fighting game. You beat a character after character until you reach the final boss, and let me tell you, the first time I saw Master Hand appear on the versus screen, I swear to the Nordic gods that I thought it was a polar bear. I couldn't quite make out the silhouette, but once I saw that it was a giant Mickey Mouse hand, I screamed in fear. They also throw in some bonus games in between the regular fights, like the oh-so-classic Break the Targets minigame, which I kind of missed because they completely destroyed it with that stupid Angry Birds bullshit in the latest game. And then we've got Board the Platforms. Seriously, what the hell happened to board the platforms? I really like this bonus game. How come we didn't get to see it in Melee? Am I weird for liking it? Shut up. Then we've got this genius idea for a bonus game. You just run towards the end, avoiding stupid obstacles which aren't that hard to avoid. Very much like me trying to run away from my real-life problems.
That's a funny joke!
There is something that I've noticed while playing this again after playing hours upon hours of the newer games. This game is pretty damn limited, probably because there are a lot of things in the other games that weren't even a thing in this game. Like for example, there are no side specials, so whenever you tap that stupid analog stick to perform a side special, you're just doing your neutral special and you're just sitting there like...
Oh.
Some characters had different moves as well. You know how Donkey Kong slams his fists on each side for his down smash now? Well, in the first game he does this hilarious looking breakdance-like move. That's fucking silly. Fox also has that weird forward smash, where he jumps straight forward with both his feet first. That also looks silly. Most of Pikachu's attacks are less focused on electric moves and are just regular kicks and punches. He's also pretty fat. That's how he looked like back then. When playing this again, I realized what the most annoying thing about the classic mode was. It might not seem like a big deal to you guys, but to me, I dreaded this one. The fighting polygon team. It's become quite normal in the newer entries to fight multiple weak enemies in one match while playing the classic mode, and I'm totally okay with fighting 8 Kirbys or even 18 Yoshis, but god damn it, do I really have to fight 30 purple metalish polygon figures? They are really easy to knock out, but oh man, are they frustrating to fight. They're not really difficult to beat or anything like that, it's just they sort of give you the feeling of...
Just let me win already!
I guess it's supposed to be like the final obstacle before fighting Master Hand, so... Alright, fine, I'm stupid. Also, what would be your first reaction when looking at the versus screen and these purple fucks starts popping up?
Mario versus Fighting Polygon Team!
What the fuck is that? Oh, Metal Mario is also a stupid fight. He doesn't even do anything, and once you go up to poke him with your stick, he's like, pow! Again, not difficult to beat, but he just takes up a lot of your time. I think it's important to point out that there's absolutely no variation to the classic mode at all. You'll be fighting the exact same characters in the exact same order in the exact same way. By exact same way, I mean being frustrated. Okay, maybe I find it frustrating because I had to record the whole game in one go, so I was forced to play through the classic mode with every single character in the span of a couple of hours, so doing the same thing over and over again kinda drove me nuts. For your sake, I cleared all the data I had on this game and completed it 100% from scratch just to show you everything, but truth be told, there really isn't that much content in this game, especially when comparing it to the other Smash games. The only unlockables this game has are 4 characters and 1 multiplayer stage.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that!
Which part, the unlockables or the multiplayer? Both. Exactly how excited were you when you encountered your very first challenger approaching screen? If you were like me, you probably didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was a stupid 7-year-old who couldn't fully grasp the English language yet, but I saw that unfamiliar face and I sat there like, that guy. I'm gonna beat the shit out of that guy. But getting all the characters is not really that difficult. There's none of that Melee Mewtwo bullcrap. So we've got Luigi, Crappin' Falcon, Jigglypuff, and the Nintendo Entertainment System. Shut up, that was funny. And then as for the only unlockable multiplayer stage, we've got the Mushroom Kingdom, and comparing this one to all the other stages, this one is crazy. It's banned in tournaments. There are all these pipes, piranha plants, this pair of balance scale platforms, and the funniest thing ever, the POW block. Hit that thing and people would go flying like Daffy Duck during duck season. The multiplayer was without a doubt the highlight of the entire game. I played the multiplayer together with my friends as much as we played GoldenEye, and I'm sure you guys did too. Unless you didn't have this game, or no friends. Lighten up, now you can play online.
That is what I'm doing!
The fact that you could play a fighting game, in quotes, with 4 players was amazing to us during that time. We played our regular Street Fighter and Tex, but being the Nintendo boys that we were, this was like candy for us. We got fat. The items that appeared in this game all makes an appearance in later games as well, like your typical hammer, baseball bat, Koopa shells, bumpies, etc. But what I was excited to see again after so many years were all the different Pokemon that appeared from the Pokeballs. Like Goldeen. Stupid Goldeen. Here's another stupid thing I thought while I was a kid. When the Pokemon anime first aired in Sweden, I accidentally missed the first episode, so the very first episode I saw was the one where Team Rocket debuted. Obviously, knowing that they were the bad guys and seeing their Pokemon Ekans and Koffing being mean dummies to Ash and the gang, when I saw that Koffing appeared from one of the Pokeballs in Smash, I was like, he's an evil Pokemon.
I now realize that story went absolutely nowhere.
Going back and playing this after playing the later games, I discovered that this game is honestly really clunky. It is a little difficult to move around, especially if you're going with your melee instincts, and the N64 analog stick doesn't really do you any favors. It sometimes hurts just to touch this thing. But Dex, you can buy a third-party controller with a better analog stick!
Yeah, I know that! Now!
This game is pretty slow paced, and I've honestly tried to stay away from this version now that I've been playing the later games for so many hours. Like for example, if I'm at a friend's place and he's like, wanna play Smash? I'll be like, yeah, sure, where's the Wii U? And he says, oh, I meant the 64 version. I'll punch him in the face, perform a German suplex on him, hurt my back, and then I go to McDonald's. Either way, Super Smash Bros. For the ye old Nintendo 64 is still a good game, but I really can't see myself playing this game over any of the other entries. Yes, even Brawl. It's just the kind of game I would like to stay away from at parties and such, but if I really got no choice, then I guess I could play a match or two. But back when this game first came out, I freaking loved this game. It introduced me to so many other Nintendo franchises for the first time, and I basically went nuts. And Melee came out 2 years later, and once we got our hands on that game, our lives would never be the same.
Super Smash Bros. Is a classic that needs to be in your collection. It is a little bit pricey though nowadays, but if you manage to get a good deal out of it, then you better get that shit. I even got the Japanese version complete in box because I'm a maniac. I don't know where I was going with that. Now I'm excited to see what the Switch version has in store for us. But for now, all we can do is wait. For a few months, I guess.
This video was brought to you thanks to my amazing Patreon supporters. If you feel like throwing some extra support my way, then you can head over to my Patreon page and receive some pretty dang cool rewards as thanks for pledging and helping my show stay alive. We've got behind the scenes commentaries for every video I make, and you can also receive a very special drawing, very much like this one, sent to your home. Ain't that cool? Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter, especially on Twitter, as I'll be posting news, updates, and other random shit. Follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me live stream games and such, and we've also got a Discord group that you can join as well. Links are in the description.
Why do I keep doing this for you guys? Oh boy.